Well, first, I thank you all for being here, and I just wanted to mention what a great job I thought our team, what a great showing we had in Columbia, Missouri at the SEC tournament. I thought the team played really well. We came up just a little bit short, but the team was super happy on Sunday night to hear that we were going to be the 9 seed and a national host, and I'm really excited that we'll have the opportunity to host here and show Beckham Field to the world, and I hope Gamecock fans will come out and support us.
The team has played so intensely all year, about having the goal to host. Now that it's here, do you worry about having to match that intensity and saying, hey, we still got games to play?
Sure. I think it's important to be locked in. I think if you look at our regional, I haven't studied the bracket intently, but I know all teams coming here have 40 wins. So all the teams coming to this regional know how to win. And it's the time of year you've got to be locked in and intense really on every pitch.
Beverly, of course you're disappointed that you didn't win the SEC tournament, but getting that experience of making it to the finals for the first time in nearly 20 years, for the program, how much is that going to benefit you this weekend?
I think it's going to be a great benefit. I think our showing at SECs just adds to the confidence level of this team. It shows that we can play with and beat anybody in the country. We were just one pitch away from the opportunity to do that against Florida, but I like the fight we showed, the fact that we came out and jumped on them 1 run in the first inning. We've just got to be able to duplicate that and get a couple more runs.
What does that mean for the program to be able to show off this facility and kind of to be able to use it in this way?
Well, Charles Bloom sent out a tweet the other day, and he said this stadium was built for regionals, and I believe that. When we designed the stadium in 2013, we had all that in mind. We wanted it to meet all the TV criteria, the hosting criteria, and I really do think we have one of the finest facilities in the country. So I'm excited, but I'm excited for our players to be here and be in front of our fans and just have that Gamecock vibe behind us.
How relieving is it this week not having to make travel plans and getting to sleep in your own bed going into this week and not having to travel?
Yeah, I tell you, after coming back from Columbia, it was a long week on the road. To be here, our players are excited about being home. But for me, it's being in front of the fans and the familiarity of the field.
With all this success comes a lot of attention, and a lot of fans that are excited. So do you talk to your players about pressure and expectations and how to deal with that come tournament time?
Well, we talk to our players all the time just about eliminating distractions and really focusing on the things that are important for us. So we'll continue to do that and make sure they're focused on the right things.
What goes into the prep for kind of a regional, and how does that sort of change things for you guys at all, or kind of around the stadium?
Well, I think, again, going into a regional now, we're prepping for 3 opponents for the weekend. We're coming off SECs. You're preparing for 1 opponent, 3 games. So for the coaches right now, it's a lot of video and tagging and getting ready for our opponents. But for our players, it's going to be just about coming back to practice, making sure we're improving our game, and we're locked in, ready for Friday night.
There was obviously a great season when you consider being picked 12th to finish in the preseason poll, and now you're hosting a regional. Now there's a little bit more expectation to come out of the regional as the host team. How has the team handled the exceeding expectations of the season, and how do they handle the biggest one here now?
Well, and for us, it's a game-to-game focus, and we really have done a nice job. One of my big saying is all games count 1, so we can't start looking to the Super until we win this one. So, our focus is going to be on UNC Greensboro, and then after that, we'll see who our opponent is. But I think this team has done a nice job really staying focused 1 game at a time.
Speaking of UNCG, what have you seen from them? What are you expecting this weekend?
Well, again, a conference champion, 40-game winner. I know that they haven't been to postseason since '97, I think. I know they're well coached. Janelle Brenneman, the head coach there, was actually here at South Carolina with me for the first 2 years. So I know they're a well coached team and they're having a big year. But again, it's tournament time, and you've got to be playing your best ball this time of year.
You talk about eliminating distractions. Do the distractions, do they increase the farther you advance in the tournament?
It just depends. They don't have finals anymore, and they don't have school anymore. But I think you can start reading the press and start thinking about different things. Or if they're thinking about going to Tempe, then their minds are on the wrong thing. So I just think it's up to us as coaches to make sure they're focused on the right things, and we've got our goals set. And our team has really done a great job about it all season long.
Coach, you mentioned goals. You guys wanted to get regionals at the beginning of the year. You accomplished that goal. I guess how coaching staff kind of keeping this team focused, but also still hungry at the same time.
Yeah, and really another goal for us is to advance to supers. That's a goal that we've talked about as well. But one thing for me, I do feel like we're playing our best ball right now, and so we've got to continue to do that and face a really good Hofstra, Liberty, and UNC Greensboro squad.
Having these goals accomplished now has to be such an exciting thing, but when you take the moments to celebrate, like I'm sure you did Sunday night when your name popped up with that 9 seed, what was that moment like for you to be able to actually take it in, enjoy it, and reflect on what you guys have all done?
Well, I'm so proud of this team, and I remember in 2013 when our name was called for the first time. That was a great moment, and then this Sunday night, to be able to be called as a national seed and a host was another really proud moment for me. But, the credit goes to the players. They're the ones that have played this schedule. They've been locked in. They've had each other's backs. And I'm so glad that they could be rewarded for it because they've certainly earned it with their play.
What was the team like after the championship? Were they upset that they lost? Were they pissed? Are they kind of, motivated by that loss for this tournament?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was really a devastating loss. It was it was tough because it was a great softball game. It was very well played, and Florida had a big hit, and that was the difference in the ball game. So those sting, and I think we'll grow from it. We'll learn from it and grow from it. But I think again, moving into postseason, our team's playing really well, and we showed that at the SEC tournament.
Do you take any hand in the logistical side of helping prep this place for regional, or is that more on administration, facilities, that kind of thing?
Yeah, Megan Kennington's with our facility staff. She does a great job, and I know that our staff here is going to run a first-class tournament. So I'm there if they need anything, but honestly, Megan Kennington's kind of taken the ball and run with it. So I know the administration here will do a first-class job.
Coach, this team's been loose all year long in terms of just being able to play and have fun. How do you keep that normalcy going into a regional?
Well, one of the things we talked about at the beginning of the season is they understand they play their best ball when they're loose and they're having fun. And so some of the girls on the team have really taken it on themselves as their role to make sure that they're keeping the team loose. They're laughing in the dugout. If you've seen us play, the girls are having a great time. And not to say that those same girls don't come together and get everybody for a motivation speech too. It just they've really bought into their roles and have done a great job keeping everybody loose.
Having a familiarity and friendship with UNC Greensboro's coach, did you text her when the draw came out, or has there been any texting back?
I did. I called her. I called after they won their conference championship, and we talked and certainly congratulated her on such a great season. And we both said, I guarantee you're going to come to the Columbia Regional. So we kind of knew, but I'm really happy for her and her team's success.
Will there be any texting during the week?
Oh, I'm sure we'll chat some, but like I said, she was here with me for 2 years. We worked together at North Carolina for 6, so we're really good friends, and I'm glad that she'll be bringing her team to Columbia.
The TPing was a pretty great touch there in the other Columbia, but have you heard if there's any new celebrations, I'll say, from the dugout that they're working on for the NCAA tournament?
Yes, the Rally toilet paper. Like I said, we probably owe Missouri some toilet paper, but they called it the Rally toilet paper, and then you probably saw them cooking a big inning in the dugout as well. But I don't want to know, because if they ask me, I'm likely to say no. So they don't tell me. It's the don't ask, don't tell. So I don't know. I'm sure something's coming, but I don't want to know about it.
Are you ever surprised when you see these things happen in the dugout?
Always. I mean, not surprised that it's happening. Generally surprised at what it is or what the theme is, things like that. I'm always surprised at that. But, I mean, I think they were cooking marshmallows in there at our last home series. There was a lighter and fire in the dugout. I mean, I don't need to know any of that stuff. So I'm not surprised it's happening, but always surprised at its theme or what's going on for sure.
Are there any moments where they come up with something and you go, I can't believe they're doing this?
Every time. But they wait till the perfect moment. I'm going on national television, and then they start wrapping you in toilet paper. So, I can't really jump on them at that point.
You said you were excited to get a 9 seed, but were you at all disappointed that you weren't a top 8?
I've personally felt like we had to beat Florida to be a top 8. So I think our seed is certainly fair. There was probably a part of me that was really hoping, maybe, because you never know what the committee talks about and what they were emphasizing, but I felt like we needed a win over Florida to be a top 8. So I did think our seed was fair.
We all know the SEC is so strong, but 9 to 16 teams are regional hosts. When you see a number like that, a record like that, how strong does it speak to the strength of this league?
Oh, it's amazing. We've got nine SEC teams hosting this week. I mean, I know what it's like to go through the grind of SEC play, but it's amazing about how strong this league is. It speaks to the strength of schedule. And I tell you what, anybody can beat anybody on any given day in the league. But I tell you, it's what we tell recruits all the time. If you want to play at the highest level, then come play in the SEC. This is the biggest stage, and I think that's a perfect example of that.
Coach, I'm curious, how big of a role will Champ Staley play this weekend?
Well, Champ was at our selection show party. He was there, and he will be at all the games this weekend. So I know our record with Champ is pretty good. I don't know if Patrick has a stat on it yet, but I feel like our record with Champ at home is strong.
And speaking of the name Staley, I guess how I guess beneficial is it to have Dawn Staley as a friend, a person that's been to the highest? How is she kind of helping you, in a sense, go through this tournament as you guys have a high seed, high expectations and high goals?
Well, a couple things. I don't know if you saw, but Ray Tanner and Coach Staley flew out for the championship game in Columbia, and I thought that just said so much about our leadership here and just about how coaches support each other. So that was an awesome gesture for them to make the trip out to Columbia. But rolling into postseason, Dawn has so much experience with championship play, winning championships, and so we actually went on a walk this morning. So we were talking about postseason and prepping the team and just different ideas. But she's a great mentor to have and be able to draw from in this time for sure.